Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Kept and Covered. I'm your host, Keebie. On this podcast, on this channel, is a space for honest, real-time reflections on faith, healing, and recovery. I don't have all the answers. I'm just sharing the raw reality of walking with God through my everyday life, and I'm just really glad you're here. Today, I'm just going to jump right in. Today, I'm going to be talking about something I've been really, let me back up. If you watched my testimony episode, I shared how I struggled with drugs and alcohol before I got saved. It was really bad there at the end. I was an alcoholic. I could not drink. I would drink. I would pass out. I would drink. I tried to sleep with my friend's boyfriend at the time. I was blackout drunk. Don't remember anything. Things of that nature. I used to do party drugs, ecstasy, Molly was real big when I stopped at the time of right before I got sober. So I went to rehab. I spent my 28th birthday in rehab, and it was just, shortly after getting out of rehab, I went to church and I rededicated my life to Christ. I want to say I've always believed that Jesus was God. And I didn't know the ins and outs of that because I had a lot of Jehovah's Witness background, but also Baptist background. So it was just really weird. So I believed that Jesus came down, he died, and he rose again. I believed that Jesus died for my sins, and I believed that he was a person and that he lived, walked this earth. So when I officially got saved, I want to say I rededicated my life. That's when he was real to me. That's when I was a disciple of Jesus. That's when I started following him and going to church. I knew automatically I needed to find a church, a good church home. And so that's what I did. Shortly after getting saved, I found a good church home. And then so that's not what I'm talking about today, but I love Jesus. So before I got saved, I was going to meetings, AA meetings, NA meetings. Every meeting, they tell you, as soon as you get out of rehab, go to a meeting. So that's what I did. I went to meetings. I was an IOP, intensive outpatient. I was at meetings, all around Delaware County. That's where I live. That's where I was at, meetings. So then when I got saved, I stopped kind of going to meetings. I was going, but, I just started not liking meetings because a lot of it was God hate. This seat that I'm sitting on is my God. It's your higher power, a God of your own understanding. A God of our understanding is not a God at all. I understand this phone. I understand this mic. I understand some things about God, but I will never fully understand all that encompasses God because he's God. So I stopped going to meetings, only went to church, and then I ended up backsliding. We call it in recovery, we call it relapsing. I relapsed. I started drinking again, and I love what my pastor says. He always says, you don't backslide into becoming a doctor or a lawyer. You backslide right back into the same stuff you used to be doing. And that's exactly what happened. I remember I was drunk. I passed out. Woke up in my house. I remember another time I passed out in my car. I woke up in my car. I went right back to the same stuff. So when I finally snapped out of it, my friend, my discipler, Randy, she had started going to this recovery meeting called No Stones in North Philly. And so she told me about it, and I went. And it's a Christian recovery meeting. And a lot of people that were in that recovery meeting went to a church called Calvary Chapel, Word of Life. And so that's how I started going to my church. I felt from the Lord that was the church I needed to go to. But I say all that to say, now I'm engulfed in recovery meetings. So my friends, they started a recovery meeting here in Delaware County, close to my house. It's called Rooted and Transformed, Monday nights at their new church. And so it's just so wonderful. The people that I'm meeting, I'm just so blessed. It's not just a recovery meeting for drugs and alcohol. It's codependency. It's overeating. It's whatever you find yourself addicted to, you need to be in this meeting. So that's why I love this meeting really a lot. And so that's why I go to, because I do have a problem. So I am really diving into 2026. I have didn't fall away from God, but like the cancer and, which was fine. I think it was a season where I was just like tired and working and, I was making it to church. I never stopped going, but I just wasn't studying. Like I was reading, I was doing plans here and there, but I wasn't diving deep into my word or my recovery. So this year, that's what I started doing. So now I have my whole day planned out. In the morning, I do my devotions in my life recovery Bible, my step work. I do also another devotional on my YouVersion app. Throughout the day, when I'm bored or need to read a Bible, I'm reading through the Bible again in a year with doing the Bible recap with Terry Lee Cobble. So I'm reading those chapters, then recapping. And then at night, I'm doing my study. Right now, I'm in the book of John. And so that's what my days consist. Obviously, work and things of that nature. So I'm in step 1, and I read this thing. So in this Life Recovery Bible, it's New Living Translation, and then they have little step work, and then they have little devotionals, and it's really nice. I did one devotional already, and so now I'm doing the step devotional. And yesterday, I just started this one because I just got done another one, a serenity devotional. I wanted to just talk about what I learned and what I'm going through with this last one. So it was really interesting. So the title is No Win Situation, step 1. And then we had to read Genesis 16, 1 through 15. I might as well go ahead and read it, right? So Genesis 16, 1 through 15. If you hear the wind, it's a really windy day. On a Saturday, it's 10 degrees outside, maybe 2 at now. I don't know, really cold. All right. The birth of Ishmael. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had not been able to bear children for him, but she had an Egyptian servant or slave named Hagar. This slavery and servanthood is not the same as what we know of American slavery that black people had to go through. Every nation, every country has been enslaved or enslaved other people, usually their own. So, and in Roman, in New Testament time, biblical slavery was more like servanthood, they're paying off their wages. A lot of times, if in one of the stories, Abraham, when he was Abram still, he was talking to God. He's like, I don't have a seed. When I die, my money is going to go to my servant. And so that's what happened. So they were like a son, they were respected. They were part of the family. We had to treat them well. It was nothing like American slavery. So we have to get that out of our head when we're reading the Bible. So Egyptian servant named Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram, the Lord has prevented me from having children. Go and sleep with my servant. Sleep with my servant. I got to slow down, guys. Perhaps I can have children through her. And Abram agreed with Sarai's proposal. So Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. This happened 10 years after Abram had settled in the land of Canaan. So Abram had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. But when Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress, Sarai, with contempt. Then Sarai said to Abram, this is all your fault. This is all your fault. I put my servant into your arms, but now she is pregnant. She treats me with contempt. The Lord will show who's wrong, you or me. Abram replied, look, she is your servant, so deal with her as you see fit. Then Sarai treated Hagar so harshly that she finally ran away. Then the angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, Hagar, Sarai's servant, where have you come from and where are you going? I'm running away from my mistress Sarai, she replied. The angel of the Lord, who is Jesus, the pre-incarnate Jesus, the angel of the Lord, Theophany, said to her, return to your mistress and submit to her authority. What? Submit to my husband, submit to authority. I'm not doing that. It's biblical. Then he added, I will give you more descendants than you can count. And the angel also said, you are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, which means God hears. For the Lord has heard your cry of distress. This son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. He will raise his fist against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against all his relatives. Thereafter, Hagar used another name to refer to the Lord, who had spoken to her. She said, you are the God who sees me. El Roi, that's what that means. She also said, have I truly seen the one, capital, who sees me? So that well was named Bir Laharoi, which means well of the living one who sees me. It can still be found between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar gave Abram a son, and Abram named him Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. And then this is the devotional. It says, so the step one is we admitted that we were powerless over our dependencies, that our lives had become unmanageable. Sometimes we are powerless. I hope you guys can hear me because it just went red. Sometimes we are powerless because of our situations in life. We may be in a situation where other people have power over us. We may feel that we are trapped by the demands of others and that there's no way to please them all. It's a double mind. To please one is to disappoint another. Sometimes when we feel stuck and frustrated with our relationships, we look for a measure of control by escaping through our addictive behaviors. When I tell you, I read that, and then you just jump down. I'm not going to read this whole thing. At the bottom it says, when we are caught in no-win situations, it's tempting to run away through our addictive, compulsive escape hatches. At times like these, God is there, and he is listening to our woes. We need to learn to express our pain to God instead of just trying to escape it. He hears our cries and is willing to give us hope for the future. Oh, so I love this. I wanted to read this because when it said sometimes we feel stuck and frustrated with our relationships, we look for a measure of control by escaping through addictive behaviors. That is literally what I do. Like, I'm a single mom. It's like, but I am blessed. So I'm in this tension of like, I'm so blessed. I really am. Like, I own a home. I have a car. I have a great job. Like, I pay my bills. I got peace in my home, peace with my children. My kids are healthy. They cured me from cancer. But there is still this lack of like control. I feel like, I go to work and I have to submit. Hello, the authority. I go to work. I have to submit to my bosses and other people, and things don't go, exactly my way. And I don't like that. I'm human. I go to church and I got to submit to situations there, friendships. I don't have a husband, and so I feel like all I do, I get up, I go to work, I submit to my authority. I come home, I cook dinner, I submit to that authority. I go to bed at a decent time. I do my devotions. I wake up, do it again, go to church, come home, go to my meetings. I feel like sometimes I feel like tired of doing. Why do I have to get up and go to school? Why do I have to get up and go to work? And I want to get up and have my day to myself instead of my day going to other people. I feel out of control. So in order to get some control back, I notice what I do is like I'll overindulge in like snacks at work. I will gossip. I will trying to take my control back. I'll come home and I'll cook the dinner, and then I will binge watch something. That's me taking my control back. Instead of saying, you know what, God, what do you want me to do now? Maybe he wants me to do my Bible study now and not watch any TV tonight. Friday nights, like, oh, I'm not going out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my pack of cookies and some milk, and I'm going to veg out and watch TV. That's my way of saying I don't drink anymore. So now I'm going to do what I want to do with my Friday night. I'm not drinking. So the least I'm going to do is watch some TV. And okay, TV in itself is not bad. We can watch TV. We can have some cookies. But when he gave me this body to steward, he gave me my time to steward. I have to use it wisely. I could be calling somebody and checking on them. Someone sick, someone, whatever, calling on a friend, praying and saying, God, who can I call? Who can I minister to right now? Instead of thinking about myself, I try to take my control back. Now, mind you, I did binge watch some shows yesterday, but I did call a friend and I checked on her. My friend just had a baby, so I called her while I was, getting dinner ready and, to check on her because God put it on my heart to reach out to her. And so that's what I did. So it's just like self-reflection. And so I just noticed that I do that. And so I actually came up with like a little list when I did it yesterday morning when I read this. I was like, when I feel like when I'm at work, sometimes I get these like urges to like eat the little Snicker things, the little Snicker snacks. And I'll eat like six of them. Disgusting. I feel like garbage afterwards because it's like my addictive behavior. I can't just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, one more. And yes, I'm active at work, so it's not like I'm sitting and so it's not even about that. But what I'm saying is self-control is one of the fruit of the Spirit. I can have self-control. 1 is okay. 2 is okay. 3, you're getting in murky water. You got to have some self-control. And so I asked myself, I actually asked ChatGPT, like when I started like thinking like, what questions do I need to ask myself when I am feeling the urge to overindulge or even to indulge at all? So, and that's what I did. I was at work and I felt the urge. I had the urge to like indulge and like I got like a sweet tooth. And then I had to ask myself a question, like, what is happening right now that I'm trying to take some control back? What's happening right now that I'm feeling out of control? What's happening right now? Check my temperature. And so that's what I did. I checked my temperature and I was looking at something and it was not working. I was not finding what I was looking for and I was getting agitated. And so at that moment, I needed to calm down. I needed to pray. I needed to ask God, instead of trying to escape, let him know what is going on. Hold on. I have a list of some more questions that maybe can help you too. So what need isn't being met? What need isn't being met right now? Sometimes maybe you are hungry. And so I'll ask that automatically. Like, okay, it's 11:45. I had breakfast, but I'm hungry. I'm getting hungry now, or maybe it's 12, but I go to work, lunch at 12:30. I have the urge to snack, right? Instead, I'll say, okay, what do you need right now? You're hungry. It's about to be lunchtime. Do you need to just take the early lunch? Right? Is there a healthy snack you can go to with some protein? Right? I'll drink some coffee to help me curb my appetite. Or I'll grab a healthy snack with like a protein bar. And, right? It says, what's actually bugging me? I can't find, no. Oh, yeah, that was my note. I can't find the list. I was looking for a list. What need isn't being met? What do I need right now? Connection, rest, reassurance, intimacy, clarity, safety? Where do I feel out of control? Body, emotions, relationships, money. I feel out of control with money sometimes. Sometimes I feel out of control with time. I'm like, rushing against the clock. What am I trying to control instead of feel or ask for? What just came to me was like, if I'm irritated with a coworker, and instead of just dealing with it and saying, hey, this is how I feel, maybe taking it up with the person or praying about it, I'll gossip. And I'm getting really good at that anyway, by the way. What do I need in this moment? Rest, food, water, prayer, movement, reassurance, right? So yeah, it was just really on my heart to share this. I was like, yo, somebody out there, I can't be the only one, right? And then I didn't expect to do the little Bible study with it, but that's what you got, because hello, Jesus, we love Jesus. If you don't love Jesus and you're curious, hopefully you're curious and you can stay. Hopefully, if you don't want to know him at all, but you're interested in the recovery aspect, great. Hopefully you'll get to know him and get to love him, and hey, that way. So that's what I got for today's episode. I pray that it blessed you. I pray that it grew you. I pray that you walk away with something. And please like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and comment. What do I want you guys to comment? God sees me. Put God sees me. God sees me in the comments if you made it to this point in the episode. And yes, if you are needing or looking or wanting to walk with somebody through recovery, you can, get to a meeting. Google Celebrate Recovery. There are Christian recovery meetings all over. Celebrate Recovery is the main one. But I'm sure if you go to your local church, they may have a program for recovery programs, meetings and stuff. And so I would love to walk with you through anything that you're going through. So what I'm doing is I'm sharing what God has taught me about recovery, faith, and rebuilding life. And I'm creating space to walk with women who want support. So if that's you, please go ahead and drop it in the comments and I will reach out to you. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode. Please stay open, stay honest, and trust God with the process. All right. Thank you. Bye.